Britney Spears is getting more candid than ever in her memoir, The Woman in Me. The pop star's highly anticipated book is already drawing lots of attention, and many of its bombshell revelations have been reported on in the week leading up to it hitting shelves. One of the biggest stories that's come out from the memoir so far is Britney's claim that she became pregnant while dating Justin Timberlake and had an abortion, which she calls, quote, one of the most agonizing things I have ever experienced in my life. According to an excerpt from People magazine, the circus singer writes, "The pregnancy was a surprise, but for me, it wasn't a tragedy. I love Justin so much. I always expected us to have a family together one day. This would just be much earlier than I'd anticipated." Britney reportedly goes on to claim that Justin, quote, definitely wasn't happy about the pregnancy, writing, "He said we weren't ready to have a baby in our lives, that we were way too young," adding, "If it had been left up to me alone, I never would have done it, and yet Justin was so sure that he didn't want to be a father." According to Us Weekly, Spears also claims that Justin strummed his guitar as she was crying on the bathroom floor after her abortion, as he, quote, thought maybe music would help. Amid the reports, many Britney fans revisited her Every Time music video, which depicts her dying and a baby being born.
Without my wings, I feel so small.
Many speculated that the video and lyrics could allude to a pregnancy and abortion, with lines like, "Every time I see you in my dreams, I see your face, you're haunting me. I guess I need you, baby." And "My weakness caused you pain, and this song's my sorry." Britney reportedly makes more allegations about her past relationship with Justin in her memoir. Sources tell TMZ that the music superstar's book includes an accusation that the Cry Me a River singer allegedly cheated on her with another celebrity. Per the outlet, the other woman is not named, and Britney reportedly explains that she didn't want to embarrass her because she now has a family. According to the New York Times, Britney claims in her book that Justin ended their relationship via text message and says the breakup hit her hard, writing, "I was comatose in Louisiana, and he was happily running around Hollywood." She also reportedly takes aim at his music video for Cry Me a River, in which, quote, "A woman who looks like me cheats on him, and he wanders around sad in the rain." Britney writes, per the New York Times, that the video led to her being seen as a, quote, harlot who'd broken the heart of America's golden boy. Justin has not yet reacted to the reported pregnancy, abortion, or cheating claims. Access Hollywood has reached out to his and Britney's reps for comment, as well as to the Woman in Me publisher, Simon & Schuster. As for happier times in her life, Britney reportedly writes about her early days with Justin. The two met on the Mickey Mouse Club, and according to People, she notes in their memoir that they, quote, quickly connected behind the scenes, adding, "Once at a sleepover, we played Truth or Dare, and someone dared Justin to kiss me. A Janet Jackson song was playing in the background as he leaned in and kissed me." Beyond her time with Justin, Britney reportedly chronicles other chapters of her life in the spotlight, including when she faced the height of tabloid scrutiny in 2007. According to an excerpt from The Woman in Me obtained by People, the vocalist writes about the moment that year when she shaved her head. Britney reportedly explains that she was just trying to reclaim control in her life after feeling scrutinized as a vulnerable young star, writing, "I've been eyeballed so much growing up. I've been looked up and down, had people telling me what they thought of my body since I was a teenager. Shaving my head and acting out were my ways of pushing back." The songstress also explains that at the time, she was dealing with a custody battle and, quote, out of my mind with grief over the death of her aunt, per the New York Times. She reportedly writes, "With my head shaved, everyone was scared of me, even my mom. Flailing those weeks without my children, I lost it over and over again. I didn't even really know how to take care of myself." The following year, the pop icon was placed under a conservatorship that gave her father, Jamie Spears, legal authority over her finances, healthcare, and more. According to People, Britney claims in her book that the arrangement required her to maintain a certain look and lifestyle, and that her newly shaved hairstyle was not allowed, writing, "Under the conservatorship, I was made to understand that those days were now over. I had to grow my hair out and get back into shape. I had to go to bed early and take whatever medication they told me to take." She writes, according to the New York Times, "I know I had been acting wild, but there was nothing I'd done that justified their treating me like I was a bank robber. Nothing that justified upending my entire life." Britney adds, per the outlet, "Too sick to choose my own boyfriend, and yet somehow healthy enough to appear on sitcoms and morning shows, and to perform for thousands of people in a different part of the world every week." Additionally saying of her father, "From that point on, I began to think that he saw me as put on the earth for no other reason than to help their cash flow." Britney continued finding professional success despite her unhappiness behind the scenes. She launched her Las Vegas residency and dropped multiple hit albums throughout the conservatorship, but had reportedly lost her drive for music and began feeling like a, quote, robot. She writes, per People, 13 years went by with me feeling like a shadow of myself. I think back now on my father and his associates having control over my body and my money for that long, and it makes me feel sick. Think of how many male artists gambled all their money away, how many had substance abuse or mental health issues. No one tried to take away their control over their bodies and money. I didn't deserve what my family did to me." According to a New York Times excerpt, Britney says it was a nurse at a rehab center that first showed her clips of the Free Britney movement, writing, "That was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my life. I don't think people knew how much the Free Britney movement meant to me, especially in the beginning." Per the outlet, Britney writes that she, quote, "felt relief sweep over me" when her father was ultimately removed as conservator, writing, "The man who had scared me as a child and ruled over me as an adult, who had done more than anyone to undermine my self-confidence, was no longer in control of my life." An attorney for Britney's father, Jamie, had no comment when reached by NBC News. Other reported topics in Britney's book include some major moments in her childhood and early career. According to an excerpt from People, Britney said that she and her mom drank daiquiris together when she was in her early teens, writing, "For fun, starting when I was in 8th grade, my mom and I would take the 2-hour drive from Kentwood to Biloxi, Mississippi, and while we were there, we would drink daiquiris. We called our cocktails toddies," adding, "I love that I was able to drink with my mom every now and then. The way we drank was nothing like how my father did it. When he drank, he grew more depressed and shut down. We became happier, more alive, and adventurous." In another People excerpt, the songstress reflected on auditioning for record labels in New York City at just 15 years old, reportedly writing, "I went into rooms full of executives and sang Whitney Houston's I Have Nothing. Gazing out at the rooms full of men in suits looking me up and down in my small dress and high heels, I sang loud." She reflects on further scrutiny as a teen star in the public eye, and how she was asked different kinds of questions than her then boyfriend, Justin. Writing, per the New York Times, "Everyone kept making strange comments about my breasts, wanting to know whether or not I'd had plastic surgery." Britney also adds that the ADHD medication Adderall was her, quote, "drug of choice as a young star," reportedly writing, "It made me high, yes, but what I found far more appealing was that it gave me a few hours of feeling less depressed." However, she writes, per the Times, that she never was interested in hard drugs and, quote, "never had a drinking problem," adding of her nights going out with Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan, and other stars. "It was never as wild as the press made it out to be." Britney looked back on using a python as a prop during her 2001 MTV VMAs performance, writing, per People, "It's become an iconic moment in VMAs history, but it was even more terrifying than it appeared. All I knew was to look down, because I felt if I looked up and caught its eye, it would kill me." The singer reportedly also reflected on making the movie Crossroads, and revealed that she, quote, "started method acting and struggled to break out of character." She wrote, per a People excerpt, "I hope I never get close to that occupational hazard again. Living that way, being half yourself and half a fictional character, is messed up. After a while, you don't even know it's real anymore." The Woman in Me is sure to be packed with many more candid revelations, and it's already a hit, topping Amazon's bestsellers list. It's also been the talk of Hollywood, with many stars weighing in. Jimmy Kimmel notably asked Christina Aguilera about the memoir on his late-night show.
Do you think you will be in it? Has she called you and said, "Hey, heads up"?
Dude, I don't know.
There's a chapter about you? Are you hoping that you're in it?
I don't know. Am I hoping? I mean, I'm hoping that, everything is all good with her and everything's beautiful. So, I think the future should be celebrated. And
Sure.
Yes.
Paris Hilton, meanwhile, shared her support for Britney and her writing journey with Access Hollywood.
"I'm so proud of her. She is so incredibly strong. And writing my memoir was extremely healing. So I'm hoping that she will feel the same way with hers."